Welcome back to our multi-purpose video production course. It's called multi-purpose video production because you can create videos for different kinds of purposes using this method, like we demonstrated or we explained in previous lessons. Okay, again, I'm going to repeat the fact that a video is essentially a combination of audio and visuals. We've created our audio and we've created our visuals. Now we want to combine the audio and the visuals to give us audio visual, which is the video that we want to create. Now, there are many ways to go about this. We are going to be using Microsoft Photos because it's very simple. If you have a better way, or you discover a better way, or you have an alternative, maybe not even necessarily better, but if you have an alternative that works for you and that you would like us to know, please feel free to share, okay? But I'm going to demonstrate how to do this using Microsoft Photos. And the process is simple. You first have to listen to the audio file that you produced at first, so that you can know at what point certain things being said that you want to display on the screen. Okay, let me explain what I mean. Okay, remember that we showed the slides, okay? Now, for example, now the audio is playing. Let's say you are playing the audio now, and you want to know when will the first slide show. The first slide will show immediately. That's at 0, okay? At 0.0, it's going to show immediately you start playing the video. Then when the speech gets to the point where the scripture, this particular scripture is not here for its reason, when the audio gets to that point, then this visual should come up. So you have to check the audio that, okay, at what point, what is the duration in the audio file when this slide has to come up? And as you continue to play the file, okay, you get to the point where the audio says Jesus was not found in the tomb because he's not subject to natural laws. So at what point, what is the duration? Okay, when this slide must come up. So you continue like that. Then at what point does this one have to come up? Okay, then you get here, okay, we're empowered to command. So this is slide 5. At what point is this slide 5 going to come up? Okay, so you have to listen to the audio first to determine all of that. Okay, then you now determine the difference between each one. Let's say this is going to come up at 0.0. Then the next slide, let's say the next slide is going to come up at 0.10, for example, at maybe 10 seconds. Okay, then that means the difference in slides, the difference in timing or the difference in duration between the first slide and the second slide will be 10 seconds. Now, let's say that the third slide will come up at 25 seconds duration in the audio. So that means the difference between the third slide and the second slide will be 25 minus 10, which is going to be 15. So what I have done is that so that you will not have to be doing that manually, I have created an Excel sheet with a formula to help you calculate that. Okay, so this is what the Excel sheet looks like. Okay, so slide audio start time, slide 1, we start at 0. If you start immediately, you start playing the audio, you understand, or the video as the case may be. Then slide 2, at what point does slide 2 show? Let's say it is at 10 seconds. So if you type 10 here, automatically look at this column. This column of time difference between consecutive slides, automatically to do 10 minus 0, which is 10. So just look at it. Can you see? Have I changed? Okay, can you see? So it's 10. So let's say that the next slide now is at 0.25. Okay, automatically you have 15 here. Okay, and then you continue until you get to, in this case, we have 14 slides. So I'm going to remove end. I'll put 11, I'll put 12, I'll put 13, I'll put 14, then end. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate this to you. So now these are arbitrary figures, but we're not going to use arbitrary figures. We're actually going to listen to the audio. So let me listen to the audio now because I want to demonstrate the process to you. So I'll listen to the audio, okay, and determine when the slides will come up. So now the first thing I want to do is that let's go back to the visuals that we're working with. Okay, I want to show the visuals that we're working with. Okay, so we already know that this is going to start at 0 seconds. Then the next one, this is not here for its reason. So I want to listen to the audio and find out where this is said. Do you understand? I want to find out where this is said in the audio. Okay, and the script can actually also help me. So I know that that's after saying today's scripture is So immediately after today's scripture is this second slide should come up. Do you understand? So let's go back to the audio now. And I'm going to play the audio. I'm not sure if you are going to hear the audio because of the way this recording is set up, but I'm going to play the audio. Then once it gets to the point where it says today's scripture is, I will pause it and look at the seconds here. You understand? I think I've actually done that before. It's around 14 seconds into the audio, but I'm going to do that again. And just so that you see how this is done. It's very simple. It's not difficult at all. I'm just taking time to explain. And when you implement, you are going to get it. So let me play the audio. Okay, so I've paused it now. So the point where the speaker says today's scripture is taken from, so I've paused it, and just to make this easier for you, you can use the P button if you are using a Windows laptop. I'm not sure if it's the same shortcut for Mac, but you can find out. But if you're using a Windows laptop, you can use the P button to pause and to continue playing. So once you press P, it will pause. If you press P again, to continue playing. So at the point where she says that today's scripture is, I paused, and I found that it is around 14 seconds. So I'll come back to my Excel sheet and I'll put 14. So that means slide 2 has to come up at 14 seconds duration into the video or the audio, as the case may be. Do you understand? So the very first slide will start immediately. Immediately you start playing the video, the very first slide will show. So that is 0. Then the second slide will come up at point 14. Then let's go back to the slides again. Like I said, it's actually a lot easier than this. I'm just demonstrating. That's why it looks okay. No, this is not what we're working with. We're working with this. Okay, so slide 3. At what point will slide 3 show up? Slide 3 will show up at the point where the speaker says Jesus was not found in the tomb. At the point where the speaker starts to say this, slide 3 will show up. So let us find out that point. So I go back to the audio and I play. Oh, okay, I can simply press P and then it continues playing from where I stopped. Okay, so the point where she said that, where she started to say what we have on this third slide, let me open that third slide again to make it make sure that we're clear. Okay, now the point where she started to say what we have on this third slide, Jesus was not found in the tomb. Okay, that point is the duration here is 42 seconds, okay, or 42.6, which is almost 43. Okay, so if you do 42, if you do 43, the 1 second difference, it will be negligible, you understand? So we can put 42 because the thought actually started around that 42. Okay, so I'll come back to my slice timing sheet. I call it slice timing sheet. Okay, so I'll put, instead of doing the calculation manually in my head, you understand? So I'll just put it there, 42. Now, what you can do now that you have more, let's say you have more, maybe the template you have reaches 10, for example, or 11 in our case, and you actually have 14 slides. So what do you do for this other part? Well, it's simple. You can just select the last one and then you drag. So automatically the formula is applied. Some of you may already know how to use Excel, but if you don't, so automatically the formula is applied. Can you see the formula here? The formula is simple, just what is in this cell minus what is in the preceding cell, you understand? So like that. So this is 42. So it has automatically calculated for me 14 minus 0, 14. 42 minus 14, 28. Do you understand? So I don't need to rack my brains. I don't need to pick out my calculator. So everything. So this will help you to avoid error. Remember what we said before about creating systems and processes, about being a clock builder instead of a time teller. Okay, so that's what we're doing now. So anybody can just fill in, and you don't have a situation where you say, oh, sorry, I did not get the subtraction right. That's why it's automated already. You just put in the figures and it's calculated for you. So I'm going to continue this throughout, until I get to the 14th slide. Okay, but I'm not going to record that to save time. I'll just do it, then I'll show you the outcome. Okay, so I'll pause the recording for now. Now I've continued to fill in the slide timing, like I said. So can you see I'm doing that? I'm on slide 8. So slide 8 will show at this point. Did you notice that the timing is in seconds? Okay, if I show you now, can you see? Okay, so this, for example, now, if there is something that should come up here, this is 2 minutes, 32 seconds. I have to convert this to seconds. 2 minutes is 120 seconds, 60 seconds make 1 minute. So this will be 120 plus 32. That will make it 152. Do you understand? Okay, so you have to put your timing on the slide timing sheet in seconds. Now, you might find, I paused there because I wanted to explain something. Now, you might find a situation where maybe there is a long pause that you think you want to delete. In this case, I don't think it's necessary to delete, but I just want to use it as an opportunity to show you. Now, there's a long pause here when nothing is said. If you want to delete that, you can just select a part where you want to delete, or maybe something that was said that you think should not be said. Okay, you select that and then you delete. Okay, once you select, just press delete on your keyboard. It's going to delete that section, or you can come to edit and cut or delete. You understand? But all of those things, they are things that you can learn, later on your own, or detailed audio editing. But I wanted to point it out so that you know that it is possible. Okay, so I'm going to continue playing the audio until I get the time when each slide should show up. Okay, so I'll pause the recording again for now. Okay, I'm almost done with the slides timing sheet now, and I want to show you something. Please pay attention. You see, I've added everything, and now we have minus 236, but that should not be. So that's why we have end. We had 14 slides before. In the process of going through the slides and listening to the audio, I found that I actually duplicated the slide. I put it twice, so I've deleted it. That's why we have 13 now. So now going to the audio. Going to the audio, the last thing that we picked, or that's the last slide we show up at 236, that's 236 seconds. That is around, you divide that by 60, it will show you the number of minutes and the number of seconds. But that's not what I want to point out now. What I want to point out is when you look at the audio file, I want to be sure I'm sharing the right screen so that you can see what you need to see. Okay, now when you look at it, the entire file ends at 3 minutes 58 seconds. You understand? This is where it ends, 3 minutes 58 seconds. It's usually good to have a few extra seconds after the speech itself. So this the speech itself ends around 3 minutes 56 seconds, which is why you have 236. Which is why you have 236 here. 236 is 3 minutes 56 seconds. 3 minutes is 180 seconds. 180 plus 56 gives us 236. So that's 3 minutes 56 seconds. That is where the third slide, that is where the 13th slide, which contains shalom. Let me show you. That's where the 13th slide here says shalom. So the point where the speaker says shalom is at 3 minutes 56 seconds. And that's the 13th slide. So in our slide timing sheet, we have 236 seconds. We convert that duration to seconds. Now at the end, the eventual end of the audio, it is 3 minutes 58 seconds. So that will now make it 238 seconds. So I go back to my slide timing sheet, and in the end, I put 238. Okay, so now I have this. So these are the figures that I now need to create my video. Okay, I hope you understand it to this point. If you don't understand, don't worry. At this point, just take notes. Okay, take notes. Ensure that you take notes. Then complete all of the lessons. Then go back and implement. You will get it. So I'm going to end this here so that it doesn't get too long. And then I'll do another video. where I will now show you how to use what we got here. Okay, so let's call this part 1 of this lesson. This lesson on how to combine the audio and visual to make to actually create the audio visual as it were. Okay, so that's the process. We have followed the process to this point of calculating the time difference between consecutive slides. Okay, so we follow the process to this point. Okay, so we want to move to point 3. Okay, then point 4 and point 5. So we're going to do that in the next video. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, depending on where you are taking this from. If you are going through any of our training programs, you are already on the discussion platform, you can ask there. But if you are getting this on any other platform, okay, you can easily reach out, send an email, reach out on WhatsApp, or put a phone call through. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.